Throughout the history of the AFL, we have seen dominant forward after dominant forward after dominant forward. Well, this one right here, Sam Darcy, might just be the most unguardable of them all. And I mean properly unstoppable. Let's have a look at why. We're first going to look at the Bulldogs versus Freo, but I need you to understand that Alex Pearce is one of the best defenders in the league. He's also 200 centimetres himself. And I just want us to look at this play. So this looks like a pretty regulation mark. And when we quickly look at this mark, it looks like Alex Pearce just doesn't have good body position and he's just made a mistake. But that's not what happened here. Because when we look at it from this angle, we'll understand why this is such an important move for Sam Darcy's game. Nowadays, so many defenders like Alex Pearce is doing here play in front of the forward. Why do you play in front of a forward, especially a forward like Sam Darcy? You play in front of them so that you can stop their run and jump with the football. And that has been a really effective tactic against a lot of key forwards. The issue with playing that against Sam Darcy is he's so smart with his body positioning and his body control. He knows exactly where Alex Pearce wants to be at this contest. Alex Pearce wants to be on this right shoulder right here so he can get the arm across, spoil that ball away. As soon as Alex goes to that position, Sam Darcy is smart enough to understand that that's where he wants to be. He holds his space, and there's a few things at play here. The first one being Sam Darcy knows exactly where this ball is going to land. And secondly, he knows exactly what space he needs to hold. So as soon as Alex gets into the position of being on Sam Darcy's right shoulder, instantly Darcy starts to hold that space, and then you're just never going to recover. So what initially looks like a poor mistake, a poor body position from Alex Pearce, it's actually a really good forward 50 play from Sam Darcy. The next time the Bulldogs go inside forward 50, again, this is Darcy, this is Pearce. The Bulldogs go forward and kick a goal from Sam Darcy's handball. But again, from that angle, what initially looks like poor positioning from Alex Pearce is actually, again, really good work from Sam Darcy early. I'm so lucky that sometimes Fox and KO show the behind the goals vision, because without it, you don't see things like this. In the first example, we saw how Pearce wanted to play in front of Sam Darcy. But Pearce, after getting held out of that first initial contest, where he was playing in front of Sam Darcy, changed his body positioning to behind him. Now that doesn't rattle Sam Darcy here, because instead Darcy uses that to his advantage. So this position right here is what we call sealing the space. So this is the space that Sam wants to run into, whether that's a quick kick coming out or a spilled ball like we see. So look at the body work that he does to clear that space and then get that half a metre space and separation from Pearce. So not only does he have separation, now he has all of the space because of the body work he did early. And then really it just comes down to athleticism. So he runs into that space, he gets the clean pickup, he gets that 3 or 4 metres of space that we saw, and the Bulldogs kick a goal. So that's a tactical change that Pearce had to make because of the size and strength of Darcy. And then Darcy's ability to adapt to that so quickly, use his athleticism for a size that big, which is ridiculous, get that body position, create that space, and then get the clean pickup, the handball and the goal. That is unbelievable. I could go on and on about Sam Darcy's ability to mark the football in the air, which I promise you we will get to, but I want to showcase his football smarts first, because I think that's the most underrated part of his game. I also think that's the reason he can be so good for so long. So Darcy's gone from the forward line, now he's pinch hitting in the ruck. This isn't necessarily about his ruck work, but he can do it. So we'll see him compete well with Luke Jackson here. Straight out of that stoppage, Aaron Norton gets a free kick, and I want you to watch the work that Sam Darcy does here. So this is Darcy, and this is Jackson. At this point of the ground, every single defensive ruckman, Jackson in this case, wants to get to the hole, wants to get to the place where he can intercept mark. But because Darcy is so smart and is a natural forward, he understands that Luke Jackson doesn't want to defend. He doesn't want to be the one defending a genuine full forward that Darcy is in the forward 50. So what does Darcy do? He makes him do that exact thing. And we'll see how quickly he gets this separation. Darcy takes this mark, and Jackson is just frustrated because he doesn't want to be in that position. But Darcy's smart to know that he's gone into the ruck, which means the ruckman is now defending him. He has to make that short lead. He gets to play as the forward against a ruckman who doesn't want to be there. He takes advantage of that. He gets on the front foot. He gets on the lead, and Jackson is left in the wind. Darcy goes back and gets another shot on goal in the first 5 minutes of the game. This is beautiful. And of course, this is the most impressive part of his game. So this realistically is a 3-on-1 here. So we've got Darcy Moore at the back. We've got Mason Cox as the spare ruckman behind the football. And we've got Isaac Quaynor. Now, Collingwood do this a lot, where they'll send in a player like a Quaynor or a Jeremy Howe to engage the body, and that's what allows the intercept marker. That's what allows Darcy Moore to come over the top here. Now, Darcy hangs out the back of this contest, expecting that Mason is going to play that role. So Quaynor's job here is just to engage the body, which allows Mason to come in unencumbered and take this intercept mark. But this is where the just supernatural build of Sam Darcy comes into play. Because not only is it the strength here to deal with the engagement of the body from Quaynor. But it's the lower body strength to hold his position. And then it's just the insane height to take the mark over a player like Mason Cox, who is, let's remember, 7 foot tall. And I'm sitting there watching that going, well, that is ridiculous. How can a bloke that tall do that? Well, then he goes around and wheels on his left foot, takes an inside kick into the middle of the ground on his opposite foot. Blokes that tall can't be doing both of those things. You can't be dominating a team in the air and then wheeling around on your left foot and taking kicks into the middle of the ground. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. I'm telling you, it's not just his height, although he uses his height really well. It's his early body work, it's his footy smarts to get in the right position that makes him undefendable. This is against Darcy Moore. We're talking about an All-Australian fullback. We're talking about a premiership captain. We're talking about one of the most athletic fullbacks in the league at the moment. Because the ball is sat so high and on his head, Sam Darcy realises that he can't just run and jump at the football unencumbered. So instead, he's got to get this body work on. He's got to get this wrestle going. But he does such a good job to put Darcy Moore on the back foot. So that's just a quick throw to the back foot. Now Darcy has just half a metre of space. And as soon as you give him that space here, right here, that's the space that he created from that wrestle. You are never getting to this point. Look, Darcy Moore hasn't even left the ground. The ball is already being taken to its highest point. This is the wrestle we're talking about. Eyes on the footy. But look at the separation he creates so quickly, just from his body strength, just from his body positioning, which means that by the time Darcy Moore recovers, the ball's already in his hands. He's already controlling it. That's already always going to be a mark. But I do think there is a way to stop him or, at least slow him down. Let's have a look at that. This kick is 1, it's way too high, and 2, it is right on Darcy's head. So you're giving opportunity for other defenders and other forwards to run and jump in and essentially stop Darcy from having any chance to mark this football. Because when you kick it on his head and he's out of position, that's what you allow. You allow a player like Wilkie and other defenders to come across and help Caminiti out in that situation. And you allow opposition teams to send a 3rd man, 4th man, even 5th man up at some times. That's how you're going to be able to stop him. So here, this is less than 30 seconds later, and we're going to see the exact same thing. The issue is, if you kick this ball 800 metres in the air for some reason, now he has to sit under it. Now you're allowing Rowan Marshall and Wilkie and Caminiti and all of these players to come in and just belt that ball away. This is exactly what I mean. So look at the kick from Bailey Davis. Now Vandermeer here is going to run into that space, which is a poor decision, but the Bulldogs get away with it. But this is the space that Darcy wants to create. Look at where he's pointing. And if you kick this football just to this point right here, allow Darcy to do some early body work, but then use his athleticism and then use his long reach, Caminiti and pretty much any other defender in the league has no chance to be able to stop this, and you get plays like this. So look at the beautiful kick here from Dale. This is an impossible thing to defend. Darcy's already created over a metre of space here, and if Vandermeer is not in the way, this is the cleanest mark of all time. It still is a very clean mark and impossible to defend, but they created the space, they created the hole, they allowed Darcy to use his greatest weapon, which is his athleticism and then his reach. And that's when you get results like this, where Caminiti, who is an athletic fullback, has no chance to stop Darcy when he's at full steam, at full flight, and has the ball out here. Because his arms are so long, because he's so athletic and he's so quick off the mark, you're just going to get results like this, where he's going to take 15 marks a game. And if you like these sort of videos breaking down the AFL, the teams involved, and the players, feel free to subscribe. Also, let me know any suggestions of players, teams, specific plays, defensive sound, anything that you want to see or that you want to understand more. Let me know in the comments and I'm happy to do a video just like this.